If you had told me 3 years ago that Minecraft Steve would not only be in Smash Ultimates, but he would undisputably be the best character in the game, and that he would be so incredibly broken that the discourse surrounding him would reach out well beyond the Smash community, becoming somewhat of an internet meme, and an incredibly large point of controversy, well, let's just say I wouldn't believe you if you told me that. With children rising to the top beating seasoned veterans, a move that changes everything you thought you knew about the game, and an oversight that fundamentally breaks the hit detection system. And all this just to say, he shouldn't be banned. Yet.
The coin box will be banning Steve.
This guy's gotta go.
Steve should be banned.
So, I made a pretty bold statement just now, especially considering I've seen exactly 0 figureheads of the community shouldering this argument. And in a way, I don't blame them, as I'm fully aware the reception to this video will likely be very negative. My only goal going forward is to create better discourse and add in the perspective of an argument that has not publicly been stated yet. You see, with an issue like this, anyone's opinion who plays Steve is immediately discredited, and while it's obviously ridiculous, I will preface this by saying, I do not play Steve at all. I have no attachment to the character, I despise fighting the character, and I still think this ban is one of the dumbest things the Smash community has ever done. Now, even before the PMLG tech was released, people threw around ban Steve, everyone was talking about it. But nobody seemed to be really serious about it. The character was clearly still the best in the game, but was not dominant on a level anywhere close to that of other ban-worthy characters. Sure, new players were appearing all over and getting amazing results with his character, and again, I'm not arguing the character isn't broken, he absolutely is, but this isn't nearly enough to warrant a ban. Other fighting game community members would honestly scoff at how easily the Smash community throws around the phrase, ban this character. This just isn't a normal thing in every other community, and that's for a reason. Banning a character in a fighting game is not normal, and absolutely should not be normalized. Many games have characters who dominate the meta and don't get banned, and yet we had a character with about 2 or 3 top representatives who sure were winning big tournaments and getting big wins, but definitely not all the time. Steve easily has the most options of any character in the game, and as far as I'm concerned, block is easily the best move in the game. Again, there's no denying Steve is the best character in the game, but does this make him worthy of a ban by itself? Absolutely not. If you think this is a dominant character, you should look at some other games. This is a dominant character. This is a dominant character. You should be grateful that half of every top 8 isn't just solo Steve. This is not a problem. In Tekken, for example, Leroy completely destroyed the game when he first came out, and was top 8ing every single tournament. In fact, one of the EVOs consisted of over half the players all picking Leroy. And yet, people complained, people quit, people moaned on Twitter, but no one talked about banning him. Okay, so we're going to be moving forward under the assumption that you're in agreement that Steve was not ban-worthy before this new tech was released. If you disagree, well, too bad, it's my video. Now it's time to talk about the recent new game-changing tech called PMLG. For the 2 people who don't know, this essentially allows Steve to punish you for getting hit, allowing him to escape hit stun, and usually kill you in one combo. This on its own is blatantly broken, until you realize that I've only shown Twitter clips thus far in this video. And that isn't by choice. There's been virtually 0 practical usage of this tech shown in any offline play. All of it has been shown in training mode, where it's obviously planned and pre-recorded. Now, I know what you're thinking. Look at the HBox clip! Hungrybox did it, we're all doomed! He went on Quick Play and he fished for it. This is not a practical usage of the tech. And if people think this tech allows you to just immediately get out of any combo, then how could HBox even be fishing for it? Shouldn't everybody be getting it immediately? This brings us to how the tech actually functions, which 99% of people advocating for the ban don't seem to understand. This tech essentially has 2 uses. The first is where you set it up in advance, and if you get hit by a move like Cloud Back Air for example, it allows you to escape some of the hit stun early and punish that hit. This is obviously incredibly strong, but acts the exact same as a counter. You have to do this right before you get hit, and your opponent can simply wait and punish you. This is a counter, an incredibly strong counter, but nothing more than a counter. I'll say it again, Steve has to actively set this up before getting hit. He cannot do it on reaction. The second part of PMLG is what most people understandably seem to take issue with. Steve is able to get out of multi-hits and certain combos on reaction, and this is where the problem seemed to lie. When people saw this in training mode, they immediately panicked, and the rest is history. A huge amount of regions have banned Steve, with popular majors like Let's Make Moves Miami opting to ban him as well. So my question is, why do we jump the gun so incredibly hard? There wasn't even a chance for anyone to even understand this tech, let alone develop counterplay to it. This version of the tech is very strong, but there's a lot of misinformation going around as well. A recent video made by a member of the community known as Smacks showcases an insane amount of counterplay to this tech, and more information about it. I highly recommend watching the entire video as it's only 2 minutes long and goes over an insane amount of information. To summarize though, Steve cannot get out of any true combos, and also can't escape fast multi-hits. Some slower multi-hits Steve is able to escape, but he can't anvil or minecart like some of the Twitter clips would have you believe, and his only option is generally to air dodge. That's right, for the vast majority of moves Steve can get out of, his only option is to air dodge. And as you could probably guess, this can be punished incredibly hard. He showcases a ton of examples on how to punish all these stupid Twitter clips we keep seeing. And you know what? This is only the first of many people who actually tried to beat this thing instead of immediately banning it. We couldn't even wait a couple months to let counterplay develop and actually see it in tournaments before opting for a ban. It's just ridiculous. And look, I don't blame the TOs at all for deciding to ban Steve so quickly. TOs are often at the mercy of the players, and many were forced to bandwagon to avoid harassment and bad PR. I'm just saying the community's reaction was far too quick, and we need a couple more months at least to wait things out and see how it goes. I'll remind you guys that we have not seen this tech even a single time in high levels of play. We preemptively banned a character because of a tech that hasn't even seen usage yet. And it's so funny to say it out loud, but Twitter got a character banned in the biggest fighting game on the planet. And look, I'll level with you. If Steve were to get unbanned, and in 2 months we saw Steve's killing you off your own hits in every tournament and Steve suddenly started dominating the meta, then you know what? I'll be right there with you. I'm not saying Steve isn't ban worthy. I'm saying we can't know if Steve is ban worthy yet, and us doing it this early was a massive mistake. Nintendo is not going to come save us. It's up to us and our community to make the right decision for our players. If you guys made it all the way to the end of the video, I just want to say thank you so much. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and consider sharing it with a friend. It really helps a lot. Again, thank you for watching and I hope you have a good day.